Okay, everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming today. I know this is going to be a life-changing event for all of you, I'll tell you. Very soon, I'm going to be releasing a book on longevity. And when I was doing my studies on longevity, it's really an anti-aging book, but anti-aging sounded so negative that I thought we would call it longevity. Do you know I found one of the leading causes of death is in America or the whole world today? Being acid. So that's one of the reasons that we thought I would talk to you today about alkalizing. So the title of this program, kind of a scary title called Alkalize or Die. And I put this up on the board. My son said, "Dad, why did you call it Alkalize or Die?" And it's because this is very, very serious. And when patients come into our office, there's a point that we check everybody's saliva pH. But I want to explain to you some nuggets that I think you're going to find very, very significant. So I have one of the first bullets. What is alkaline? And then right below that, what is acid? To keep it really, really simple, because we don't make this a complicated chemistry class, acid is like vinegar. It has everything to do with hydrogen ions. The more hydrogen ions you have in a solution, the more acid it is. Alkaline is just the opposite. Alkaline does not have as many hydrogen ions in it. Think of alkaline as baking soda and think of acid as vinegar. And that's really as simple as I'm going to keep it for you. I'll tell you this little nugget. In metabolism, your body makes acid. You have to eat alkaline. It was just recently reported in our local newspaper, and I don't know how many of you saw this or not, but it talked about the oceans are becoming more acid. I don't know if any of you saw that. It's pretty frightening, and a lot of people, they don't think so much about the ocean, but here's the significance of it and what their concern is. When the ocean becomes acid, it takes the calcium out of coral. And they said in the article, up to 1/3 of all the fish in the ocean lives in coral. So we have a huge challenge going on, and I think that we're only as a planet Earth are starting to understand the significance of this. And I've mentioned this before at our half-off health workshops, but I'll just mention this briefly to you now. I have patients of mine who own a swimming pool company. They've owned it since the early 1980s. And when they first started putting pools into the ground, the one person that's a patient started as 1985, they never had to check pH in the pool that significantly. And what this person told me is this. When we get rain in northern Ohio that comes out of Canada and from the west to the east, they always have to add solution or a bicarbonate to people's pools because the acid is always, or the rain is always acid. If you have acid rain in a pool, now listen to this, it eats the vinyl lining and it eats the copper in the heater. So if you didn't take care of your pool, within 3 to 5 years you have to get a new vinyl liner. Or you have to get a new heater. You're talking $5,000 or $6,000. This person also shared with me to the fact that if rain comes out of the Gulf of Mexico, they don't have to worry about the pools. Isn't that fascinating? So I know if you look at cars today and you see cars that have a dull finish on them, it's because the acid rain has taken the finish off. That's one of the reasons they started putting clear coat on cars. So you'd think that somebody in Detroit or whatever would have figured out, hey, we have a real problem with pollution here. But instead they developed a clear coat. Now, listen, I'm going to word this to you. You want to be alkaline for certain reasons. People who are alkaline won't die of cancer. Cancer likes an acid environment. So you might want to write that down in your notes. Cancer likes an acid environment. Do you know one of the leading causes of acid is in our society today? Stress. Stress causes acid. People who are acid have a greater chance to have cancer because cancer likes an acid environment. So do cold viruses, so does depression. When people are acid, they have a greater chance to get osteoporosis and their muscle tissue will go away. I wrote down these 2 words there, love and music. Physiologically, your body itself can't necessarily make alkaline. Now listen how I want to explain this to you so I don't confuse you. Love causes your body to be alkaline. Anger causes acid. So you know you have some people that are just unhappy campers. More than likely, they're acid. If you're stressed, you'll be acid. There are foods that will create you to be acid. That's one of the reasons I gave you that chart there. Animal tissue causes you to be acid. Protein causes acid. Vegetables cause alkaline. Music, soft, soothing music can make you alkaline. Music, and I'm not a psychologist to debate this, but music that you like, that you have passion for, will cause you to be alkaline. They've done studies on certain types of music, and I'm not trying to stereotype anybody, but acid rock, you know, you hear the word acid rock would have a tendency to make your physiology acid. Now, a part of that is, think about this, vibrations. Do you know when you can go into a room, you can cut the anger with a knife sometimes, or the misery with a knife? That's because who's ever in that room, and I don't want to sound metaphysical, but this is quantum physics, are releasing vibrations. Just like I'm releasing vibrations to you, and you release vibrations to me. You know, you can go home with your spouse if you're married, and you can just feel something just ain't right. And it has to do with physiology. So I believe a part of the acid rock music vibration creates negative energy in our body. Isn't that fascinating? So anger causes acid. Christopher Reeves passed away, as you know. He was Superman. He was paralyzed, quadriplegic for a long time. And then shortly after he passed away, his wife passed away. Now, I'm not saying that she passed away for any other reason. There's a lot of reasons she could have passed on, but she had cancer. I am sure the stress that she was under caused her to have an acid environment. Have you noticed, because this happened to my parents, and I'm sure it happened to some of your own loved ones, if you have a husband and wife and they've been happily, passionately married for a long time, and then one passes, and maybe the last little bit of time there's a lot of stress, the other one passes soon afterwards. Yeah. I know that has a lot to do with physiology. So physiology is very, very intense. So let's go on to another level. So you should understand what I'm talking about, how significant this is, acid and alkaline. Blood pH versus cellular fluid pH. Wow, Dr. Bob, what are you trying to tell us right now? See, your blood should be specifically at 7.4. That's the value for your blood pH, 7.4. Venous blood, that means blood in veins, is 7.35. Like you really give a hoot, but I just thought I'd throw that statistic out at you. But normal blood is 7.4. If your blood goes up or down, the pH of your blood goes up or down or deviates, guess what happens to you? You die. So when we're checking the pH of your body, when we put the saliva pH in your mouth, we're actually assessing fluid pH, cellular fluid pH. You can see in your stomach is acid, and every part in your pancreas is alkaline, and I'm not trying to confuse you, but there's all kinds of different fluid pHs in your body. So what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to focus on pH, cellular fluid pH. Not that you can't change pH in your body or your blood, but let's just focus on cellular fluid or body fluids. So what causes your body to become acid? Stress and food. Those are the two biggies. Stress and food. When you're under stress, you're going to have cold sores. If somebody has a cold sore, I know that they have stress. If I ever get a cold sore, I know that I've been stressed. Or I've been in the sun and I don't have enough calcium. Here's a scoop. If I don't take enough calcium, so if you're under stress, you want to take extra minerals. Why do you think we have Celtic sea salt? I believe in my heart that Celtic sea salt has changed my life around. My hair stopped turning gray, my blood pressure is normal, I don't have joint pain. It's because I use Celtic sea salt every day. That's really significant, okay? Celtic sea salt, minerals. Food is animal protein. But pasta and grains can cause you to be acid too. I believe that people who snore, does anybody in this room snore? Bump the elbow, there you go. I always see the wives hit the husbands. When you eat wheat at night for dinner, you have a greater chance to snore. Because I have found from my experience that snoring occurs when your pH is acid. Do you want me to give you a little antidote for that? Have your husband, before he goes to bed, serve him some herbal tea with a wedge of lemon in it. And have him drink the herbal tea and then eat the lemon wedge.